one of the clients that I've dealt with, one of the things that really had an aha moment for me was he continued to tell himself that he didn't have enough time in the day, like you said, for the side hustle. And he shouldn't have left his job. That was pretty obvious at that point in time. And one of the things that we did was we sat down and we kind of broke down his entire day. So my program, we talk about the 5 habits of success that almost everybody implements to be able to break through from anywhere to wherever they want to go. And one of the habits that I have is systemization. You need to be able to implement discipline into your day so you know from a day-to-day basis what you're doing, and decision making now is not paralyzing you, right? You wake up and you know exactly what you need to do because you've already planned out your day, your quarter, your year on a weekly, bi-weekly basis. We sat down and we figured out that about 9 to 10 hours of his day was just going into random activities, and which was trying to plan, trying to figure out what to do next, watching obviously a little bit of TV, driving back and forth to things that weren't needing to be happening. So I think that's why a coach is so important, right? Because sometimes you're so close to perspective, you're so close to what you're seeing that you can't really take a step back and say, this is not as important as I think it is, right? If I just took a step back, I'll realize there's activities that I can let go of and I can make some things happen that I've been holding off for years, for decades, for some people.
Absolutely. And what you're saying is also, you have to be intentional with your time. Mm-hmm. And when you said all of this, I was like, that's exactly what has shifted in my own personal life so much in the last year, because I became much more intentional around how I spend my time.
Yeah.
I don't have TV. I don't watch Netflix. I don't scroll on social media. I just don't give my precious time on things that are not making me happier at all. I focus on things that intentionally bring closer to where I want to be in my life and who I want to be in general. And so that what you're saying is so incredibly important. And I think there's a quote that I read somewhere quite recently, and it says something around the lines, you cannot ignore the unimportance of practically anything. Okay. And what it says, what it actually means is that almost everything that we do in our daily lives is a distraction from our goals. And that's the thing that most of us, we don't have goals. We just live, what you mentioned earlier, we kind of live on this autopilot.
Yeah.
And so we don't have a vision, we don't have a goal. And it's very easy to just waste hours, days, months, years on something that doesn't bring us anywhere further, anywhere closer to where we want to be. And so being intentional, not distracting ourselves, that's so key.
Yeah, I want to make sure I put some evidence behind what you're saying. So my life shifted when I read Stephen Covey's 4 quadrants, right? The important, the not important, the urgent, the not urgent. And when I broke things down, I realized how many things were in my not important, not urgent quadrant that I gave practically my entire day to. And that shift is what helped me. So like when you said be intentional with your day, this is my basic 10-year guideline. So I have my why, my values, my 10-year plan. I have my 3-year plan, my 1-year targets, and my quarterly initiatives. So when I say that I wake up and I know exactly what I'm doing, I really do, right? The decision making has now been taken out because on a quarterly basis, I'll sit down and I'll do this. So I have times where I'll work on my life, and then I have times where I'll work in my life. And I think, like you said, the intentional part is so important, because I remember a bulk of my life was spent on getting up, probably spent about a good hour and a half, 2 hours trying to figure out what is it that I need to accomplish. I was looking for issues rather than working on opportunities. I kept looking for issues. I'm like, what issues do I need to solve? And the days when, surprisingly, when there was no issues, I would say, okay, fine, let's go binge watch, right? Let's go watch TV, let's go out with friends. And there's nothing wrong with that. If you need a little bit of entertainment to kind of get you through the day, go for it. But that's what my life had become. And ever since I started working on opportunities, my life has completely shifted, right? I've met people that I would have never met. I met you, and you're in Berlin, and I'm here in Houston, Texas. Last week, I met an ex-NFL player, Jedediah Collins. I never thought I would meet such amazing people. My bubble was so small, and now it's expanded. And one thing that I want to put evidence behind, you and I spend so much time on LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is, at least for me, is my platform of choice. But like you said, I don't scroll on LinkedIn. I don't go through the feeds. I don't spend hours and hours of my day on there. I put something that's of value. I will look for something that's of value for an hour a day, and I've got that blocked off. And after that, I will let it go. Right? I don't check my followers. I don't check my feed. I don't go back and forth. I have a dedicated hour a day that I respond back to people, which because I want to make sure I do. And then after that, I have things that I need to go take care of. So even for social media, people who build their life around social media, you can get away from it. You can walk away and have a true life for yourself and not be constrained by these mediums that are bringing you revenue.